Hello, everybody. Good morning. It is 7 a.m. in California, and I think it is Friday, January 7th. I did get a couple of calls this morning that I missed, and just want to say that I'm trying to get to everybody. And I did get some pretty good sleep, a few hours, couple little naps, and I think I feel good. It's hard to it's hard to know, you know, but we're full of hope. We're full of joy. We're full of peace in a time that's very, very, well, it seems like the narrative is bad, right? But somehow, even now, right? When we watch the news and watch the mainstream narrative, excuse me, it feels like we're separate from that. Already, it feels like that, doesn't it? It feels like we are already outside of it and kind of watching it, like as fans or something, or like it's a movie somehow. And I don't know, it's been pretty great in one sense, all the confirmation, plus a lot of these negative things out there are not really true, right? So that also helps, but there's also some disappointing things too, right? And things we got to face. Hey Michael, how you doing, my buddy, my brother? Remember yesterday, I was like, we're in this crap together, and that's what it is, right? We're all in this together. And as a body of Christ, we're part of each other. And I think that's the way we're going to get through it. I think, um, this is a battle, right? That we might not win that we're not going to win in the flesh, right? And we're eventually gonna die, right? Or be changed somehow, right? And we will be uh we will be glorified, right? And with God, and then that's when the victory happens, right? So to God, to God be the glory, or yes, because the victory is done, right? Like we sometimes we look at Satan as if he's some kind of equal opposite to God, right? But that's not true. He's a defeated foe, and it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be aware of what he's trying to do to us. But we definitely should not be in any kind of fear, right? Because if we resist the devil, he will flee from us. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. God will never, never forsake us, right? He'll always be there for us. If we ask anything in his name, he'll give it. And see, I used to think, right? I'm like, okay, with the faith of a mustard seed, I can move mountains, right? And so I'm like, well, I should be able to move a mountain whenever I want. But that's my own will, right? I think what that means is if God needs me to move that mountain, I can. And I could do anything. If it's in his will and he needs me to do it, I could do anything. And so what I'm working on now is like when I'm sick or not feeling well, um, I always you know, pray and try to have a lot of faith, right? A lot of faith to try to get myself back on track. And this morning I woke up feeling a little yucky, right? And I'm trying to just say that I'm fine because I believe that I'm gonna be fine. But I wonder if it's like, it has to be something I ate. But I did go to the hospital yesterday. I had to go there for my stomach medicine, so unfortunately I went there and um I was gonna talk to my one of my nurses that I usually see once a week, and he wasn't there, so I didn't have to. So I actually praise God for that because I didn't want to. And so I came home and I don't think I ate anything different. I just haven't eaten any pancakes. I'm back to my regular diet. So maybe, yeah, my energy level is down. Yeah, that's what it is, right? And I feel like it's rare, but it feels like I want to sleep, right? More like I feel yucky being awake. I want to go back to bed, but and that's rare. Usually when I wake up, I'm ready to go. So who knows? I know a lot of people wake up and they're groggy and they hate it. They're like, I hate it. Good morning, Sasquatch. How are you doing, my brother? I tried to hang out with you guys the other day. I went over to your channel and I couldn't, nobody could see what I was saying to him. So I tried to tell Darlene, but I don't know if she told you. But that looked like fun over there. I'll check out and see what you guys are doing later if that's okay. And yeah. Yeah, I mean the enemy, right? The enemy, right? The enemy likes to make you feel sick or low energy or whatever. But like I used to think my enemies were, I mean, now when I think of the enemies I had a month ago, right? They're they're so small, right? These people out there are so tiny. They're small. It's high school. It's high school goofiness, right? 13 hours last night. I couldn't imagine streaming that long. I mean, I could stream maybe 2, 3 hours if I had a good panel. But 13 hours is a long time, man. That's a long time. And last night, you're not gonna believe this, right? But last night usually the night people are like, 7 or 8 people, and it's just a tight little group of, people just encouraging each other. But we had almost 20 in the chat. We had almost 20 in the chat last night. And that's without like some of the normal people. Like I could think of 3 norms that weren't there. Yeah. Oh yeah, 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 absolutely. Absolutely. And I just 1889 Bible, foot thick. Oh wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, I used to like to watch like videos or things, documentaries about the Bible and read books about the Bible. But I think that it's the Bible itself that now I like, right? Because I could read a book on somebody describing what Jesus said, or I could just hear what Jesus said. And I used to fall into that all the time, like, oh yeah, this is a good book, it's about the Bible, or oh, this is a good documentary, it's about the Bible. But it wasn't the Bible, and it was like, not saying that that's what that is. I don't know what that thing is. You're probably watching the Bible, but um, just what I do. And it's just, I mean, it's so amazing, right? That there, like, no matter what you're facing, there's something in there, you know. And I like my favorite one. I think, well, my favorite one's the Good Samaritan, of course. Like, it's got the most in it, the most pieces to the parable, right? But I really like the the servant that gets forgiven of this huge debt, right? This unbelievable debt, and then he goes and puts hands on this other guy that owes him like 100 pence, and he beats this guy down and throws him in jail for 100 pence, man. After he just got forgiven like hundreds of thousands of dollars or something crazy, right? And it shows you that's kind of how we are to each other, right? Like we no, none of those people were here last night, and we still had that many in the chat. Terris is here, and she was here last night. I can't believe we had that many in the chat last night. That's not normal for us. Well, tonight I have kind of a surprise for you because um there's these this lady and this guy has been watching the show. They don't get in chats, right, in the chats, but um not yet, at least. I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe they watch later, I'm not sure. But they're coming on the show tonight, and it's going to be a pretty deep and pretty smart conversation. These people are smart. I'm going to have to slow them down because they talk very fast, which is normal with smart people, right? Like that's just normal, and we're used to that. Like people in the truther community are a little sharper than most people, right? And so it's going to be fun, I think. Uh, I wanted to do Bible study with them yesterday, but I was so tired, and I guess I just slept through it. But I think tonight's show is going to be great if everything, works out according to plan. And I would like to get them, separately to do a, testimony each of them, but I don't mind, just having a couple guests on or whatever. Has anybody seen Dee Dee or what's it called? Dee Dee 222 and Anti Venom? Oh yeah, Teresa's testimony was great. Oh yes, Michael. Yes. If if she would like to come on at some point again and tell her story again, I would be okay with that. And do I have a methodical, repetitive, careful speaking voice? I don't know if I do or not. I know that you just said you like it. I'm trying hard not to say those words that I have a habit of saying. Trying to break that. Trying to break that up. And also, I wasn't feeling like my sharpest today, right? And I just did it. And so yeah, we can have you on one day to do that. I think that'd be great. I just there's another couple people that I was thinking about too. Well, I know Luke hasn't been here in a little bit, and trying to think who else I haven't seen in a while. Kay Stover, I haven't seen in a little bit, couple days. I don't know. Like I start thinking about you guys, right? Um, at different times though. Like some people every day, some people once every 3 days, some people every couple weeks. Just depending on um how much you're on my heart as far as how much I think you need to be here. Like I know that there's some people that probably need this fellowship. I haven't seen Red Skies in a little bit either, and so who knows? But yesterday we had. Oh, there he is. That's my brother right there. I didn't see you in like 2 days. I don't know if you just weren't in the chat. Oh, I'm so happy that you speak of the devil, right? No, speak of an angel. And man, that makes me feel happy. I wonder if I can make more people show up. How about, is Hannah there? or BB or somebody. I think that's pretty cool. I did have a day like that where I was saying people's names and they were showing up like as I was saying them. It was odd. It was definitely odd. I said like three names in a row, and it was like, wow, speak of them, they're here. And so I don't know if Shannon or Faith or Chris is here yet. I always lump them together for some reason. Oh yeah, they're in a group text. I have them on a group text, but they're always lumped in together. I think about them as like a three pack, you know. And for some reason, I always think of Shepherd's Voice and Ray of Sunshine together, even though, I've seen them together enough, I guess. But sometimes I confuse them both. Only on here, in real life, I don't, because Ray, I don't talk to Ray at all that often, but I talk to Shepherd's Voice a lot, so I could tell. It's easy to tell them apart that way. But sometimes the names, it seems like, some of the names are the same. In the world, we'll have tribulation, but Jesus came and overcame the world so that we can also. Yeah, I mean, we could do anything in Christ, right? I mean, He's our strength, and so we can do anything if it's in His will. We could do anything, I mean, I have no doubt about that. If like when He says the faith of a mustard seed, um, you can move mountains. I believe that if He needed me to move a mountain, I could do it. I really do. It's just what's hard to understand is that none of that power belongs to me. It all belongs to God. It's not like if I had the power to move mountains, it's really His power, not mine, and not my will, right? And so I have to remember that to stay humble, right? To yay, what's going on, Shannon? I was just talking about you. I was just talking about if you guys were here yet. Oh, you want to come up today? Sure. Yeah. Let me figure the best way to drop you the link. Maybe I'll just drop it in chat. Father God, please protect us from all people that have any evil intentions against us. Um, please let them hear a good message or the gospel of Jesus Christ and His sacrifice. I pray that any lost people get edified and feel great when they leave here. I pray that you have me do your will and not mine. Please help me, Father, to not focus on what I want to do, but help me to have a desire to do what you want me to do. And I pray this in Jesus' name, amen. Hey, Stacy, how you doing? I'm glad you're here, Stacy. That's nice. Oh, I went and saw Teresa. Oh, Teresa is Shulamite. So maybe you're calling her Shulamite. And sometimes I say people's names, and that could be it. You want me to highlight her? That's her comment. I just put it in the box there, Teresa. And so if you see it, if you could reach it, I know. But you know what? I can put it on my banner too. I did pray, and I do trust trust God in this. And I wish there was a way for me to delete. I guess I could on YouTube, but I'm not logged on to YouTube. Oh, do you see it, Michael? Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah, sometimes I call people by their names, right? Like I I try to do that. Okay, I'll put another link. I'll put another link there. Hold on a second. Maybe I didn't copy the whole thing, you know. I'll make a link here. Copy, click. All right. Let me go to, I mean, I was praying when I did it, so I had my eyes closed. Okay, maybe this one will work if you could reach it. Why does it say you're cheating? What are you cheating about, Shannon? Everyone's always wondering whose people are because I do that. Should I? Because I would call people by their names, right? But we've had some pretty weird names come in here, and there's some names that like when they come in here, I just don't want to say them. You know, poor Chris when he came in here, his name was something different. Not horrible, but not great either. And now it's better, more better. Okay, let me ask Julamite to come on the show. Hold on, guys. Hello, Teresa. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes, I can. Now I can.
All right, I was singing, sorry.
Well, it sounds like you're in a good mood.
Um, well,
Pretty good.
I have a choice, I could complain
Right, right. We
or I
can,
can
yeah.
I could
Mm-hmm.
not complain. So
Right, right, right.
so I sing
Suck it
off
up and
key
drive
and
on. Yeah.
that's what I'm still humming that song, that link I sent you. That
I need to hear it. And I like at first I thought it was a video, so I'm like, okay, well I'll do that after the show. And then I realized it was a song, and I was like, oh, I could have heard it like 5 minutes right before the show. It probably would have been great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sometimes I get going and I just worship
Hmm.
the Lord and cry out and just,
Yeah,
sometimes I just need to do that first before I talk to anybody else because um,
that's
I'm
it.
human.
Yes. Unfortunately, we're made out of meat, right? I hate this suit. I just can't wait to shed it and go be glorified so I'm incorruptible, right? Like even when I live my best day, right? I'm like, oh, okay, I think I've lived my best try today. But there's so many things I didn't do or could have done or did wrong, right? I'm like, oh, I've just there's no way to to there's no way I could serve God the way I want, in this suit,
I used
and
to think
sometimes,
that I used to feel that way when I smoked cigarettes.
hmm
My meat suit, my meat suit isn't giving me too. I mean, I have aches and pains that kind of get to me and
yeah,
overwhelm me sometimes, as you get older, I guess. But my biggest complaints today are I still have spiritual troubles, I still have spiritual battles, and that's kind of where
yeah,
I'm at right now. I'm just, when I'm not thinking about how to handle things properly, towards other people, I'm
yeah,
praising God because um, I don't want to say something to hurt other people. I don't want to hurt, well, everyone that comes here mostly have heard me talk about my daughter and how they moved from Florida. She sold her house to come here to be closer to me, her and her husband. And there's always challenges when you invite other adults into your private area, and it's developed into a bunch of challenges that aren't being handled the way I want it to be handled. I'm not the kind of person that you want to disrespect. You want to be loyal to me and you want to respect me because that's how I am to you. And when I'm not getting treated the way I want to be treated, then I go into this tailspin a little bit, and I really struggle to know how God would want me to handle these situations because I'm straight on. I'm straight and I'm confrontational. And if I don't like it, you're going to hear it. And
Right.
that's kind of where I've been for the last 2.5 months. And my daughter's not using her coping skills. I have been in the kindest, most confronting way saying, look, we can't let this stuff go. We have to, talk about this. We have to deal with this and this and that. And somehow they want to turn it around and make it like it's all my fault. Well, that's not floating with me here. It's not going very well with my husband either. He's um, ready to shut the door on the whole invitation
Yeah.
altogether. And they occupy 2/3 of my house. My
Yeah.
basement is full of everything they own, and they live in my upstairs.
I can understand. That's probably frustrating,
Yeah, so
especially,
I don't want to.
especially, especially when you want it to be like, you're really making a gesture of love to your daughter, and you kind of want that, time to build the relationship stronger, right? Because you figure that's what this was going to be, right? Like, you're going to get closer to her and meet him, and maybe work some things out with him, right? And
Hmm.
there's this expectation that, you know this is a big thing that we're doing for you, and that there's going to be some kind of return, right? And I just I I've been praying for you about that, right? That
Hmm.
hopefully that's what happens. The only thing I can
Yeah.
think of, right, is that
Hmm.
sometimes, spiritually we get different amounts of talent, right? Some get five, some get two, some get one, right? And I'm thinking that the only thing I could think of is that some people just don't have the ability to be that spiritually mature back to you, right? Like, it feels intentional and it feels messed up, but maybe it's just not part of them to do that. But if it is, right, it can feel insulting, right?
Well, if it's a stranger, like if it's someone that you're giving hospitality to, inviting into your home, I don't really see any difference in between a perfect stranger. Like a friend of mine, uh, her and her husband split up, and I let her come here and stay. It's really no different, because love is love. It doesn't matter if it's your daughter or your neighbor.
Yeah.
And so, um, but the difference is, um, when you're a guest in someone's home, you want to try and respect the doable boundaries that we set.
Yeah.
I can't even get these people to wipe their feet.
Oh my God.
You think I'm kidding, right? I had dirty
No.
laundry. I had dirty laundry in my washer, Stephen, and my daughter came down with her laundry and took my stuff out of my washer and threw it on my floor and did her laundry.
Oh, wow.
That's what I'm dealing with here, is someone that just
I
doesn't get it.
Oh, that's like halfway house attitude, you know?
That's what I'm
That's
dealing with. That is my
oh,
daughter. I told my friend Betty that I feel like I invited a perfect stranger into my home.
wow, I
I
can't even
mean,
imagine that. I can't even imagine that.
so
I don't think
here's
that makes I don't think that kind of stuff makes sense to anybody if you
no,
have
it
stuff
doesn't.
already in the
And
washer.
she gaslights me like I'm the problem. You know, I have I've made them a prison here in my own home. They've, you know, they there's I gave them my whole upstairs, which equates to 3 bedrooms and a huge room above the garage where their dog stays,
Yeah.
and a full bathroom, and my whole basement. They've got everything that they own in my whole basement. I spent an entire week. In my mid 60s. I spent an entire week making a parking plat for 2 cars and had 10.5 tons of gravel delivered, and I raked it and smooth. Took me a week,
Yeah.
and I spent my own money out there doing it too. I haven't asked them for one dime.
Yeah.
I can't even get them to wipe their feet. My husband put a sign up in the laundry room. Please take your shoes off here.
Oh, wow.
Even talking to them, asking them, wipe your feet, take your shoes off, they just ignore and walk. I see them walking through here. Look, my daughter had dog poop on the bottom of her shoe. I said, "Hey, you got something on the bottom of your shoe. It looks like dog poop." She says, "No, I don't." I said, "Take that shoe off and let me have it."
Right, right.
Now I took it and wiped the dog poop off of it.
Wow. That almost sounds, I don't want to say it, but it almost sounds like
Go
a demon.
ahead.
It almost sounds
Yeah, it
like a
is a
demon.
demon.
Yeah.
Yes. They both have demons. Her and her husband both. He's
Sounds like
just,
there's a lot of doors open there.
yeah, so yeah, there's more to it that, I can't say everything here, but,
Right, I get
obviously
it.
anybody out there that loves me, that cares about me, please pray for me because um, I'm getting out the mom hammer today. It's coming out.
Yeah, right. I will definitely pray for you.
Yeah,
There's a few
because
people in here that are struggling.
I've done everything I know to do to gently nudge them, to be kind to them, to, if they were only staying here for a couple of days, I'd have cooked all their meals and washed up all the dishes and, done all the, everything.
Yeah,
But
it
when
would have
you're
been,
talking
yeah,
about people in their late 30s, early 40s, it's what the only restrictions I put on them was, please clean up after yourself. That was it. That's all I asked them to do is
wow.
clean up after themselves. And her husband acted like he actually said to me, and I quote, I could have, I didn't, I didn't want to come here. I wanted to go to my mother's house in Orlando, my wife wanted to come here to be closer to you. I didn't want to come here. I could have gone to Orlando.
So it was like he's doing you some kind of favor by being there, right? That's
Yeah,
that's
that's the
that's
way, that's the
horrific.
way he talked to me. That's the way he
Ah,
talked to me. I said, well, the only thing I asked you to do is clean up after yourself. I said, because your mother doesn't live here. That was
that's
my
right.
comeback.
Amen. Right.
That was my comeback. I said, your
Yep.
mother doesn't live here. All I've ever asked you to do is clean up after yourself.
That's right.
And even after that, they
Yeah.
don't do it.
I can't believe that. I can't believe I would never treat my mother like that. And if I had a spouse, right, that talked to my mom any kind of way, I would handle that.
I
I'd
talked
be
to
like,
my
look,
husband about it, and my husband said he was going to treat it a certain way, and I asked him not to. I asked him not to because
mm, yeah,
because
I
this
get
isn't
it.
my circus. You know what I mean? This isn't my circus.
At some point you throw up your hands, you're like, is it even worth trying to fix this, right? It's not
Well,
nice.
that's
Yeah.
why I talked to you about it the other day. It's like my son-in-law interprets me through my daughter. He thinks it's okay to treat me this way because of apparently things they say my daughter says in private. There's no
See,
other
I
explanation for it, right?
that's the thing I don't get, right? That's the only part that didn't make sense to me because I know that if I had because I was in a situation where me and my spouse had to live with my mom and my dad, and I told her, I mean, look, there's two heads of household in one house, right? That it doesn't work that way. Like we got to show my parents respect. And if she had a problem with my mom, I'd have been like, look, you can have your problems with my mom, but in this house, you're gonna have some respect for her. I mean,
Yes.
that's just simple, right? I mean, it's just simple. But now I try to view because like now with the world being the way it is and my expectations being so low, right? It's like I just view people as maybe they're incapable of doing that or they're sick and not bad, but they're just sick and need
Yes.
spiritual help or something. And maybe
Yes,
that'll make you
you're
feel a little better. I don't know.
no, I mean, you've kind of gone through this with me a little bit,
Yeah,
Stephen. So, you want to try and handle it kindly, gently, spiritually.
yeah.
And I have talked to her, but she doesn't want to talk to me face to face anymore. She wants to work this out via text message. And
Oh,
that's not going to
yeah.
happen. Not going to happen. So,
Do you think
I don't.
maybe do you think maybe if you it's so hard, right? But do you think maybe if you consented to this text message thing that it would be a start to move in the right direction, or
No,
would
I've
it just
tried. I actually tried text messaging her. Um, well, you know me. I'm a pretty healthy, emotionally healthy person.
yeah, strong.
I've said, this, and this is my complaint, and you gaslight me and turn it around and make it like I'm the bad guy. I've
Yeah,
given you 2/3 of my house, and I worked a week out in the driveway so you would have a place to park your car. How am I the bad guy?
yeah,
What did I do to offend you? Oh, that's
yeah,
right. I asked you to clean up after yourself. I
yeah,
asked you to have some respect for me. You don't even have to be submissive or subservient to me. You just have to clean up after yourself. I've asked you for no money for electricity, water, nothing, food. They went and bought their own food, which is fine.
yeah. A little weird though.
It's fine. We only
Yeah,
have one kitchen, so I had to
yeah,
make a special place for their food,
right,
but that's fine. If they want to come down here and use my kitchen, clean up the dishes and don't make me clean up after you.
right.
I thought I
I
was
lived
doing a
in a
nice thing by giving them
well,
their own space upstairs. They took it as I was confining them to the upstairs and that I didn't want to spend time with them. That's how they took it.
oh wow. See, and I've been in situations, right, years ago where I had to live with other people and just the minimum like requirement of hey, wash your dishes, right? Like normally I wouldn't have believed that that could even happen, right? You ask someone to clean up and they won't do it, right? But that's exactly what happens. Like you say this is the minimum thing that you got to do and it still doesn't happen. It's very frustrating because you're
Well, I'm
like,
going to
wow,
tell you what I'm going to do today, Stephen. Here's my plan. I'm going to go get a couple of boxes because I've got some couple of boxes out in my garage. I'm going to tape them together and I'm going to take all their food out of my cupboards and I'm going to take all their pots and pans out of my cupboards and I'm going to move it all upstairs. I am going to separate their crap from my crap.
well, let me ask you
And
this, right?
no, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just
Mhm.
telling you, this is what I'm going to do because it's not
I,
working the way
I,
I'm going to do it the way they think I am. I'm just going to take all their stuff out of my kitchen and haul it all upstairs to the upstairs. And I'm going to take the sign down that says, please wipe your feet. When they come in, I'm going to meet them at the door and I'm going to say, take your shoes off or go back and get in the car.
let me ask you this, right? Like, um,
Mom hammer, Stephen. Mama
right, right,
hammer.
right,
It's
right,
coming
right.
out. I'm
How
done being
long?
manipulated and used. I'm finished being used.
I
I've
understand.
tried everything I know to do to be
Well,
emotionally
how
healthy and spiritually loving, and the only option I have is the hammer
how much longer do they have before it's time
before
for
their
them to
house is available.
yeah,
I don't know, the auditor or the inspectors. Is this Friday?
yeah.
Yeah, the inspectors are supposed to be over there today, and the money gets exchanged then if the inspectors say everything is okay. So it doesn't matter. They've been staying at a hotel. They come here
Oh,
once a they come here once or twice a week to wash their laundry, just enough to get me stirred up, again,
yeah.
and go back and stay
Okay,
at the
well,
hotel.
if they're only coming there once or twice a week, then Mama Hammer will probably work, you
That's
know,
what's going to happen. Yeah.
you know.
That's why I
But
said
I
I
was,
can't
I
tell
was
you everything.
right, right. I was gonna say like if it's every day for 3 weeks, that might be you might. I mean, I'll tell you what. Sometimes I get tested with this 70 times 7 and turn the other cheek, and sometimes I get pushed to my limit on that, you know. And it's hard, right? It's so
Yeah.
hard.
Well, here's the thing. She is still my daughter, right? It's not like a perfect stranger. So I think family, we treat everyone with love and respect and honor, right? We try and do that. We try and do that. But when it's your sibling or your child, then we can
Yeah,
demand that they treat us with respect. We can,
yeah,
because I'm
yeah,
not going to raise another narcissist. I'm not going to allow my daughter to think that it's okay to manipulate and use
yeah,
me without, there has to be consequences for bad behavior.
yeah,
I can still be loving and kind,
yeah.
but you know what? Like I said before, when you cross that line of loyalty and respect and start standing on my foot, then something has to be done.
Yeah, and I, you know, and I also think that I agree. I agree. First, let me say that I agree with that. And I'll say this, it's sometimes like when I like if I'm gonna stay with my mom, even if it's overnight, sometimes I'll revert back to being her kid again, you know? Like instead of being Steven the adult that's all straightened out, right? Sometimes I'll go back to that dynamic where, oh, mom, I don't want this on my plate, you know, like stuff I would never do, right? But it's like because I'm at mom's house, right? It's like she takes that role of being the responsible one, and I slip down a notch almost. And I'm not saying that that's fair, right? And it's horrible, but it and I definitely, if I had my spouse there, my spouse would treat my mom right. There's no doubt about that. That would happen. And so, but hey, with what you said, I think Mama Hammer sounds okay. You know,
Mm,
that's one option.
it's the last resort.
Yeah,
It's the last resort because you know, I'm a relatively effective communicator. I try and say what I mean. I try and mean what I say. I try and
yeah.
say the right things, and you
Try
know,
not to let it get. Try not to
pretty
let
much
it
the
get you
entire
down.
time that they've been here, my daughter will say things to me like, you can't say that to my husband. My husband doesn't understand what you can't say things like that to my husband. You know, it's like everything I say is wrong. Everything I do is wrong. You know,
Okay,
not
I have a
once did I hear
I have a
thank
question.
you for all of this.
I have a
Just
question, Therese.
go
I have a
ahead.
question. Sorry to interrupt
No,
you.
no, it's okay,
Um,
brother. Go ahead.
Clutch has a question that might be sensitive, right? But if you're okay with that, if
No,
not,
go ahead. I can't see
okay,
it. Here we go. Let me see if I can see it.
I got it.
Go ahead.
It's were you different, maybe not following God when you were raising your daughter when she was a kid, and perhaps she has some kind of resentment. Is that a part? It doesn't sound like
Well, I became a Christian when I was 18 years old, but I'm not a perfect person. If that's what you're asking. Oh yeah, I made lots and lots of mistakes.
yeah,
And I was
yeah,
also married to, I mean, her dad, um, when we got back from Germany, he started seeing some other guy's wife. So, and it was all out in the open. Not like it was a big secret. Um,
yeah,
yeah, he was chasing this other guy's wife, and so when you're in the midst of like the worst possible thing that can happen to a marriage, you know, the you
trust.
don't the be, it doesn't bring the best out in me.
Once the trust is broken, then it's like there's
It,
so much can come out with
yeah,
emotions between you.
so ultimately we got divorced, and for you know the remainder of their childhood, I was basically a single mother, just trying to get enough money to buy diapers and food.
Yeah,
And I have to tell you, I did a lot of things, and I didn't do it gracefully. A lot of, you know, it was my years of learning, walking in the grace of God, just
I think we all do our best, right?
walking on knees of jello. I was not a solid believer, and anybody that looked at me would not want to use me as an example. I would be the example of what not to do. Oh, look at
Right.
Teresa. Look at her. She don't do that. Yeah,
Oh,
that's me. Don't do what she just did. That's not, not her. Don't do that.
but I think the things that we go through, right, shape us, like, cause I'll tell you what, if I look in hindsight at, like, say, my relationship with my dad, I could say, yeah, there were some things that were definitely abusive or things he shouldn't have done, right, that
Hmm.
probably harmed me. But in the moment, at the time, right, I was safe with my dad, and each moment was, I feel like he did his best. I could feel his intentions, right? Were to hang out with me or to help make me happy, right? And so
Hmm.
sometimes we can look back or whatever and say, okay, I made this mistake, that mistake. We all just do our best, right? And if we made it, if we survived childhood, we got to be grateful for the people who took care of us, right? And so that's a minimum, I think. And then cleaning up after yourself, I mean, that's just, that's the minimum if you stay anywhere, you know. And so I definitely feel for you.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
be praying for you for sure. I mean,
you
there's no
know,
doubt
I
about that.
I want everyone in the chat to know, thank you everyone for your prayers and your good thoughts. And I just want everyone to know in this group that um yeah, I'm getting a little choked up here.
It's okay.
I try to do what's right.
Yeah.
Anyone that loves God tries to do what's right, even with the best intentions in your heart to do what's right, we still fail. And I'm
Yeah.
being so hard on myself right now because we feel like a failure. We're trying to do what's right. But what I'm experiencing right now, Stephen, is maybe I am living in part of someone else's world and they are being taught by the Lord. So, like, maybe my daughter and her husband are being taught by the Lord, and I'm getting to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And so, them suffering consequences for treating me in a disrespectful way is part of their journey.
Yeah.
So,
Could
that's
be.
kind of where I'm coming to. I mean, isn't that the only conclusion?
Well, God is very purposeful in what he does, right down to the hairs on our head.
I'm
So
going to tell
it's,
you, he promised me that my
yeah.
children will serve the Lord, and great
Yeah.
will be the peace of my children. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
That's right.
And
That's right.
I told her this. I said,
Mm.
Alicia, my daughter's name is Alicia. I used to lay on the floor and cry out to God for her. There would be days, Stephen, where I couldn't get off of the floor, crying out to God for her and for her future mate, her future spouse. And I've told her to her face this time here at my house, this is not what I've prayed for you. This is not how I visualize this going.
Yeah.
I have spent years and years laying on the floor crying out for this girl and for her future spouse. This is not how I see it going.
Yeah.
So, this is not what I've prayed for. We're going to get what I've prayed for, and that's a godly spouse for my godly daughter.
Yeah. And sometimes this is just part of the journey, right? Part of
Yes,
the
we all
journey.
get corrected, okay? God
Yeah.
corrects those that he loves.
That's right.
And I would be remiss if I didn't correct my daughter. If I let her just walk over top of me like all this crap is okay, I would be remiss. We don't let people walk over top of us. We have to have a healthy way of being. I have to teach her what is spiritual and respectable. That is my job.
Yes, ma'am. I think that's a good time to round out. I think we should really pray for Teresa, and I thank you for coming on and having the courage to share that with us. I know that that was emotional. I know that we've talked about this before, and maybe we were able to talk about more and get deeper. But anytime you need to talk to me, you know I'm available to you. You know
Yeah,
that,
that's
right?
why. Yeah, Stephen, I I know this sounds kind of weird, because we do talk,
Yeah.
away from YouTube, but the longer I know you, the better I like you. I mean,
Thank you.
you really are what you. In fact, you're better in private than you are on YouTube. You really do provide a place for everyone in your chat to come and sound off and get. And it's like you're the hub in the center of the wheel of all of this. And I have a lot of respect for you because you really are fulfilling a calling that, and you've called it. You said this is my calling. I feel like this is, and you cannot be dissuaded from it.
No, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it.
Hmm.
And it's time to hit the old dusty trail. And so,
You're
right,
not going to play Roy Rogers, are you?
right. So pray, so praise Jesus
Happy
first.
trails to
Right.
you
Yeah. Praise.
until we meet again.
Yes, absolutely. Praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace, and all glory to God because he deserves it.
Yes,
And
amen.
I will see you guys. I'll pray for the children, and I'll see you guys tonight at 5 p.m. California time. Thank you. God bless.